The protagonist of Tokyo Revengers has finally entered the fray. Not only has he entered the fray, he's also joined the global community as a free unit. Just play the event and you get him, and not only do you get him, you also can get him up to 120 luck. And since everybody got him for free, I thought, why not? We gotta show him off today. But not only do we have to show him off, we have to see how good he is, because I've heard some very bad things about this man. But how could you not love him? Look at him.
Hey, yo!
And here we are with Takamichi in game. As you can see, luck 120 maxed out with the Tasmons plus the luck buff system. So he's looking pretty good right now. He has Revenge level 10. This autofills your own arc gauge by 10 when near death. You can actually manipulate this pretty easily with certain equips. He has his own unique passive, which is Crybaby Hero. He gets arc gauge up by the amount of luck when quest starts. Now, some people are saying that this is actually what Gray has. If you know what Gray has a similar passive where he gets arc gauge up by the amount of luck when battle starts. Now you see the wording difference here. When battle starts compared to when quest starts. When quest starts is a one-time activation. So as soon as you load into a quest, you're going to get 120 arc gauge once, compared to someone like Gray, who increases his arc gauge by every time a battle starts. This actually activates not only on quest start, but also every single stage transition, hence the name when battle starts, because every single time a new battle starts, he gets 120 arc gauge back. So unfortunately, Takamichi doesn't have that same passive. It would be really nice if he did, but it is what it is. Next is going to be rank XP level 3. You get 30% more player XP. His skill is I'll Never Give Up, 1600% fire damage physical. His art is able to increase his damage by 40% every time his art is used, up to a maximum of 400%, 17,000% fire damage physical on this bad boy. And then we have his true art. You increase all allies art gauge by 30, and then you increase human units attack by 100% for 30 seconds. And then if you look at his equips, you know, you're going to be able to equip a 5-star physical, a 5-star heal, and a 4-star physical. Now, if you look at his art, you may be really enticed by this art at first glance. 400% is a lot of damage up. However, the multiplier is quite low. Giving a unit that has low multipliers just tons and tons of buffs, or like a massive buff like this that is, you know, 400%, it does hardly nothing for them. I say that his real value comes in his true art, being able to give everybody the arc gauge and give everybody the 100% attack buff. This is really where he shines, and I would highly advise against just looking at only the art. As far as the equipment goes on this character, I don't think you're going to be nuking with them. Let's be honest here, don't do it. I think you're going to be wanting to get as much arc gauge on this character as possible. 5-star heal is always up to you, you know, whatever you want. Of course, you know, Demonic Wicked Globe, you got this from the raid. The raid actually happened recently. Lots of HP up, lots of HP recovery too. So overall, really good. Recommend it for anybody who's newer to the game. But of course, you know, you could use other stuff like Fina Devil Wings, Ultra like Empty Heart. And then if you need a cleanse, you could also use Force Keratos. And then for the 4-star physical here, man, hey, we're going Grief. You know what I'm saying? If you got Grief, you're going to be using it. It's the best 4-star physical in the entire game. If you don't have this item and you're wondering how you get it, you have to get this item by beating the B3 Mines boss. And unfortunately, Mines isn't here right now, but whenever Mines comes back, I highly recommend that if you don't have it, to try to farm it and try to acquire this hidden item, because it's insanely good. If you don't have this, you know, anything that's going to be buffing up arc gauge, increasing your skill CT, damage, whatever, you know, it really doesn't matter too much for 4-star physical. As for the crest on this guy, I actually have no clue. You really don't want equipment CT because, like, his equips aren't really that great. You don't really want attack up because you're probably not going to be doing too much damage, but I guess it'd be better than nothing. So I would say that you probably go either attack up and arc gauge up, possibly, because if you go arc gauge up, then you'll have a total of like what, 140 arts if you get like a level 4 or 4+ on them as soon as the quest starts. So that'll be pretty great. But apart from that, I really don't know what you go in terms of crest on this guy. But now we got the animations, and ladies and gentlemen, let me just say Tokyo Revengers is quite recent. It was the last crossover that JP had for Blackrock Shooter or whatever, so these animations should be looking top notch. So let's see real quick. We have his attack animation. We have his skill right here, which is, you know, I like this. It's kind of like a tackle forward. Looks really nice. Or actually, no, the more I look at it, it's kind of like a dolphin dive, isn't it? Actually, yeah, it is a dolphin dive if you see him. What? We have his art here, which is a big punch. And look how short range this is, by the way, chat. This is one of the problems with a lot of the Tokyo Revengers units, is that their range is extremely short. Like, even one of the best characters that's from this crossover, Mikey, his range is extremely short because his kick only goes like a few inches in front of him. Then we have his true art here, which is just a roar. And I kind of really like the effect here, where it's just like this blazing aura effect. You know, even though his attacks are kind of like whatever, I think they have a lot of personality to them. So because of that, I think that I'm going to give him probably like an 8.5, I would say. And the way how I would put Takemichi into teams is that I would put him in this 4th unit slot, or if you guys don't know like my philosophy behind this stuff, I made a video on it. This is kind of like the flex position, where I'm putting like whatever I need at the time. If I want more damage, if I want more, you know, defensive stuff, if I want a tank or whatever, this is who I'm putting in that last slot here. And unfortunately, one of the bad parts about this is that I ran into a problem though, is that if I put Takemichi here, Takemichi gives 100% attack buff. A lot of the really strong human attackers already give themselves 100% attack buff, so I'm kind of a little bit out of luck on who I should actually use. Until I remember I had somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Eris. You don't think I'm going to be using Eris? I'm pretty sure nobody even remembered this girl existed. But we're going to use her today and see how much damage she can do alongside Takemichi, because one thing she doesn't provide herself is actually 100% attack buff. And this is the team we're going to be running today. We're going to be using a very human-centric team. Of course, Haruto being one of the best human supporters in the entire game, one of the best arch-generers in the entire game. Mako here, also a human, but you know, best supporter in the game. A user, insanely good unit. And by the way, you don't have to follow this to a T. The main thing is that you want to at least make sure that your attacker, or whoever's dealing the most amount of damage, even if they're not like a pure attacker, is a human ally, so they can get the 100% attack buff from Takemichi. And there is actually a quest that is perfect for using Eris and stacking her, and also probably showing off how good Takemichi is going to be in the speed challenge quest. This boss has tons of HP, so he'll be able to survive the onslaught that is Eris. Now, let's talk about Takemichi real quick. With Takemichi, you know, a lot of people want to talk about the negatives with this character. Not too many people have a lot of positives to say about him, because let's be honest, there's not too many good things with Takemichi, but I do want to mention some stuff, because I don't think people are realizing what this unit is really supposed to be. For one, this unit is a free 120 luck unit, meaning that anyone can get them, whether you're just starting, whether you've been playing the game for years, it doesn't matter. Anyone will be able to obtain Takemichi by just playing the event. 120 luck is extremely valuable, especially for newer players, because you guys don't have a lot of luck units. So getting a 120 luck unit can benefit you a lot. It can cut down grinding by quite a bit. So in that regard, you know, he's pretty good. Of course, if you take into account all of the other luck 120s we've got before, you're like, oh, he may not be as good as he looks. Also, another thing to point out too is the fact that he's able to help out all the Tokyo Revengers units, because all the TR units are humans. So he benefits all of them. You get pretty much a character that can support every single one of them, whether there be, you know, Mitsuya, Mikey, Draken, Shifuyu, doesn't matter. All of them will be able to get supported by Takemichi. However, there are some glaring weaknesses which we've already talked about quite a bit. Stuff like how his art is kind of a trap, because the 400% damage up you get from it just isn't worth it. You have 17,000% modifier on this, and unfortunately, it's not like Eris's art. As you see here, Eris's true art does 66,000. Now, if Eris's true art had this 400% multiplier on it, Eris would be absolutely insane, but it doesn't, so it's not going to really hit as hard, which is why I say he's more of that supporting character. However, his slots don't really offer that. His slots are so bad for what he needs to do. As you can see, like, what is this? Like, what were they thinking with this character? It's like you wanted to give him a free unit, but like it's not really good in terms of the slots and everything. And unfortunately, I just don't think that they had like a good idea. Maybe what they were trying to accomplish was maybe just give, you know, new players something that they could work with for a little bit until they get something better. Then once they get something better, you know, he gets benched, which is very likely. But there's one thing I'll say, chat, that I always stand by with these free units, is that you really can't complain too much, right? They're free. They're not going to give you one of like the best characters in the game 100% free. They used to do that whenever we had the crossover summon tickets, but those days are long past, man. But as you can see here, this guy's taking quite a beating from the girl Eris. I definitely think that if I was using someone like Sistina, it would be a little bit better. Another thing to point out too with Takemichi is the fact that he gives attack up is kind of bad, because attack up is one of like the worst buffs you can like stack, due to the fact that at some point it does have diminishing returns. Either way though, that was Eris getting buffed like crazy by the boy Takemichi. Let's see exactly how much damage she dealt. And just for the fun of it, I want to go back in this with Sistina and see if the damage difference is quite massive. Keep this number in mind, 36 million, pretty much 37 million. Let's see real quick how much damage she'll deal if we actually have Sistina instead. Alright, we made it to the end, and one thing I can definitely tell you is that I think that she hit a lot harder. Another thing is too that I wasn't really using Mako's art too much in the first run, so the damage difference difference is probably going to be pretty massive here. Since I was talking a lot, I wasn't really paying attention. And as you see there, actually no 30 million. It's still kind of the same because the only one dealing damage still is Eris, but Sistina was also here, so Sistina's going to hit pretty hard too. If you have the right buffs on and you have the right stuff, as long as you're buffing up multiple sources of damage on a character, you're still going to get quite a bit of deeps. Even if you use someone like Takamichi. He's not the greatest. Like, me personally, I don't think I'm ever going to use this guy. I think that this guy's going to stay in my box exactly like this for the rest of time. Yeah, I don't think I will ever use this guy again until the next time Toku Revengers comes around, because maybe he'll get buffed. But either way though, fam, that's going to be it for this video. Tell me down below how you all are feeling about Takamichi. I think most people in the community are kind of just like, this guy is just so bad. I think he definitely has his uses, and I think his main appeal is definitely being like a unit that newer players can use for a bit to kind of help them deal a little bit more damage, but also help them be a little bit more consistent in terms of the arch and everything like that until they get better units later on down the line. You know, stuff like Sistina, stuff like Weaver, you know, even if you might get lucky, you may get Mitsuya or something like that. You know, there's a lot of characters in this game that are going to be a lot better than Takamichi, but as a beginner unit, as a stepping stone, so to speak, he's really great. Outside of that though, of course, he's kind of garbage. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, man. Thank you all for coming out. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps out the channel a lot. While you're at it, why not check out these videos as well? Great content, guarantee you'll love them. Oh yeah, before you leave, don't forget to drink water.